Okay, we are live. We are talking about Joshua Dotson today. Um, Dotson, he is from Memphis, Tennessee. He referred to himself as a serial killer during his trial. He was sentenced to an additional 159 years in prison after pleading guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder. This sentence is consecutive to his prior conviction of 2 counts of first-degree murder in August, bringing his total sentence to 261 years for 5 murders. He also pleaded guilty to 3 counts of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Um, he claims to be a um, a self-proclaimed serial killer. He killed his pregnant girlfriend and gets a total of 261 years in prison after being linked to 3 other murders. Um, he he, um, he also pleaded guilty to 3 counts of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. As a self-progressed killer who confessed to 3 murders after being convicted of killing his pregnant girlfriend and unborn baby in 2020, Joshua Dotson, 25, and his girlfriend, I think, was only 19 at the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
and she was several months pregnant, it says.
Yes. A first-degree murder for slaying Devion Parker. She was found in the parking lot dead. Renita Bennett and Reginald Anderson survived after multiple gunshot wounds, according to Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy. Um, Now, Dotson, a Memphis local at the time of the killings, also pleaded guilty to 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. A Shelby County judge then sentenced him to 159 years, which added to his sentence from another conviction. Renita and Reginald were fatally shot on May 24, 2024. Wow, that was just not, that was last year. On June 20th, on June 12th, 2020, Dotson fatally shot his 19-year-old girlfriend, Jamisha Kovson, and her unborn child. Dotson shocked the court by testifying in his own defense, referring to himself as a serial killer and likening himself to the fictional murder of Michael Myers. Now, there's something about these movies that people are just wanting to kill people. Wow. I know we're not supposed to judge, but just, I don't understand. Um, he also killed Devion Parker and Renita Bennett and Reginald Anderson. Devion Parker was shot and killed at her Memphis home in 2020 after he became very irate about a Facebook post in her pregnancy. He was arrested 6 days after the shooting, and he was comparing himself to Michael Myers from Halloween. In court, he also had called his ex a sex worker and killed her because she was aware of his previous murders. Isn't that crazy? Um,
That's what he looks like.
and he looks like he just don't care. He's like, yeah. The court's decision affirms that all those who commit acts of violence with such disregard for human life will be held accountable. Um, we hope this sentence brings the families some peace as they continue to grieve their loss. It's just crazy. They really don't have much on him, like his background or anything like that, which is kind of odd. Usually, that's the first thing they talk about is like the home life.
On another thing, it says that he called his ex a sex worker and said that she knew about his other murders. So you really gotta search for stuff. They don't have everything in one place. Need to.
He's got a lot of tattoos, though. Not that it has anything to do with it, but
So what does Michael Myers and him have in common?
According to him, he's got something going on.
I'm not understanding how that's related there.
Well, he compares himself to him, which I don't really know how, unless he walked like Michael Myers while they were running. He gets a lot of time, though, that's for sure. After 5 years, they are pleased to finally have justice for Dotson's multiple victims. 5 years? Can you imagine waiting 5 years for him to get a conviction after he killed a family member like that?
So, at just shits and giggles, I looked up Michael Myers copycat serial killers, and sure enough, he's listed on there.
Yeah.
But Michael Myers didn't go around shooting people.
Well, apparently he thought they did.
There's also 2 more that claim that they were copying him.
Now, we know of the 2 boys, and we did write them. We haven't heard anything back from them. From our last one. Not the last one. I think there was one before that.
Well, there's a Jake Evans from Texas listed and a Stanley Stiers. Yeah, there's not a lot on him, but he actually tried to defend himself.
Sometimes that's not a good idea to do.
So he probably did a little too much bragging about being like Michael Myers, and that judge didn't like it.
They honestly don't. They don't have a lot on him. Usually they have like a history. He doesn't have any history on him at all.
Oh crap.
Just go up to the 261 years. His sentence was both guilty verdict after a trial and 2 pleas. 261 years, which is no amount of prison time will bring the victims back to their loved ones. But he will never be a threat to society again, that's for sure. We really honestly don't have a lot on him. I thought that we had more on him than that. He started this back in 2020, killing her. Let's see. Dotson had already been sentenced to 102 years in prison in October after his conviction of murder of Jamisha COVID-19 and her unborn baby in 2020. And then during that trial, he claimed to have responsibility for 3 additional murders in 2019 and 2020. Okay. Jamisha Colvin was shot on June 12, 2020 in the 1200 block of Quinn Avenue near Bellevue Boulevard in South Parkway East. Investigators say Dotson became angry with Colvinson and fired a gun through her closed door.
That'll do it.
Wow. At the time, marshals also said that Dotson was also wanted in another deadly shooting that happened May 24, 2020 near Jesse Turner Park on South Bellevue. Regina Anderson and Renita Bennett were victims in that shooting. A third homicide involving Dotson happened November 17th, 2019 at the Memphis Market at 1430 Elvis Presley Boulevard. Devion Parker, 18, was found with gunshot wounds in the parking lot and pronounced dead at the scene. Wow. Like, were these just random, or did he know these people? I mean, that's kind of a question. You know, that's a good question. Dotson. Because I don't know if it was just like maybe random, he was just finding these people. On the morning of June 12, 2020, Memphis police received a 911 call about a shooting at 1200 Quinn Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, South Memphis, Tennessee. When the officers arrived, they found 19-year-old Jamisha Covison suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. At the hospital, her and her 5th to 6-month-old unborn child were pronounced dead. Investigators quickly identified 24-year-old Joshua Dotson, Jamisha's ex-boyfriend, as the suspect. Witnesses report that seeing him outside the home shooting through a closed door before fleeing the scene. Just 2 hours later, Joshua was logged onto Facebook and posted a fake memorial message writing, "Fly high," in an attempt to cover his tracks. Really?
Takes all kinds.
He really wrote "fly high" like that was just going to cover his tracks.
Well, he's trying to show remorse.
That was... In questioning friends and family, investigators found that Jamisha had recently posted something online that angered Joshua, which started an argument. So so that's why he killed her. Because he got mad over a Facebook. You don't want to have a Facebook war with that man, because he don't play behind the keyboard. He goes out in the real world and goes.
Well, on
man.
another post it said that one of them knew of his other killings, and that's why he killed him.
The violence escalated after Jamisha reached out to friends for help during a phone call. She begged friends and family to pick her up, but despite her friends telling her to leave, Jamisha returned to the apartment. Then when she tried to leave, that's when Joshua fired multiple shots through the door, killing her and her unborn child. Authorities quickly issued a warrant for Joshua's arrest, and after 6 days on the run and being on Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list, he was caught in Nashville. What police didn't know at the time was that Jamisha wasn't Joshua's first victim. So, let me get this straight. She was the one that was pregnant, was on Facebook with him.
Correct.
Okay. Well, he must have said a lot of stuff to her for her to get, like, paranoid like that. So they must have kind of knew each other. He probably knew where she was. Because, I mean, right now, you can look somebody up, not a problem, get their address and phone number and everything. Like, all the information you need on somebody. It's crazy, how technology is now. I mean, look at AI.
Yeah,
You can do a bunch of stuff with that, too, now, too.
It's harder to hide. That's why there's less serial killers.
While investigating Jamisha's murder, detectives uncovered that Joshua's name was linked to 4 other homicides dating back to 2019, including November 17th, 2019, which was 18-year-old Davion Parker was found shot dead in a parking lot. That's a lot.
Well, he had to have been pretty proud of himself to berate himself as Michael Myers and to think that he's going to get away with this by
Yeah.
defending himself. Stupid move.
I don't know why he would even do that. Yeah, he was comparing himself to Michael Myers. It took them 5 years to get all that time for him. So he killed his ex because she knew all about she knew about all those other killings.
She probably picked up there's a little bit of a screw loose there.
This is probably close to like Monster, where Eileen's girlfriend knew. I think she knew about the murder just like this, but Eileen didn't kill her because she knew that she wasn't going to say anything. But him, he was probably scared she was going to say something, so he probably assumed that, you know, she was going to go to the police or something, so he wanted to silence her, but you see how that worked out. Well, he would have been a goner anyway, because even if he didn't kill her, she would have said something probably. Self-proclaimed, I like that. Now, they had a U.S. Marshals looking for him. He made it to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation top 10. He was considered armed and dangerous, and the public is advised to avoid contact with him. And there was a reward of up to $500, $1,000, and then Tennessee was up to $2,500, and the U.S. Marshals was up to $10,000. So Crime Stoppers was offering $500 to $1,000. Tennessee was $2,500, and Marshals was up to $10,000. That would have been a nice payday for somebody.
Yeah, if they could turn him in without getting hurt themselves.
I think they wanted him alive too, not dead.
Surprised they didn't put
Now,
him on America's.
is Tennessee a death penalty state? Because I think to get the death penalty, though, you need to have like 2 crime, or I can't remember how they stack it to where you get it. But do you think he would have deserved the death penalty for that? Because that was kind of cold-blooded.
Well, yeah, obviously it was planned.
I can't
I
remember.
mean, the one kid, he shot him down in a parking lot. It said multiple ones.
Now the death penalty, you have to be. I forgot how it goes. You have to have like. Capital crimes. Okay, you have to have serious crimes such as like, you have to have a capital offense and a capital felony, or capital felony, depending on the jurisdiction, like murder, assassination, mass murder, child murder, aggravated rape, terrorism, aircraft hijacking, war crimes, crimes against humanity. Okay. Treason, espionage. Okay. So he honestly, maybe he should have gotten.
Well, between the girlfriend and the infant, unborn child, right there.
That should have been right there too. Yeah,
that
he
should have been automatic.
Well, does Tennessee have
and then
that though?
More behind it.
Does Tennessee? I don't know if Tennessee does. Have the death penalty. Let's see. Yes. And primarily for the first crime of first degree murder.
So it's up to the judge.
Mm-hmm. Wow. There they have. They do lethal injection. Now, there's a couple places where you can get firing squad or an electric chair. And I think
they still do the firing squad places.
Some places they do the firing squad.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe that's what he deserves, seeing how he shot 3 people.
Yeah, well, no, technically 5 because he killed 2 unborn children too. Well, 4 because didn't one live?
The guy lived, I think.
Yeah, so he would have technically killed 4. Well, 3, 2, yeah. Yeah, technically, I feel he should have got the death penalty because there was no cause for it. It wasn't in self-defense or anything like that. So there was absolutely no reason that he should have killed anybody like that. But they do have the death penalty.
Well, if he's referring to himself to Michael Myers, then obviously he wanted to be popular. To copy something like
He's
that.
really not that popular because there's really not much on him. Like, he don't have much
I don't think he was expecting to get caught. I mean, he already did it twice. And was still going.
He was going
How many do you
strong.
think he would have... Curious. We gotta try and get to this back of his story.
He had no remorse, though, for anything. He looks like he just didn't even care. The state prosecution asked the judge to sentence Dotson back-to-back terms of 50 years each. But he got more than that. He had no remorse while he was up there on the stand. He stated he was a serial killer. He likes killing women. He had no remorse at all. Dotson's attorney asked for 2 sentences to be served concurrently, meaning 1 50-year sentence. Really? Mr. Dotson accepted responsibility for his conduct and he did not have to take the witness stand, he told the court. Well, there's no point. I mean... Judge Addison then gave her own analysis. He is a serial killer. He's Michael Myers, remember? That's what he told me. She told Dotson as she was explaining her sentencing. Addison said she considered Dotson's extensive criminal background dating back to when he was 14 years old and his demeanor during the trial. Not only did Mr. Dotson not show any remorse during his testimony, during the trial I caught him asleep several times. He was getting his rest while we were getting justice. She also said considered how unremorseful he was on the stand, and his confessions to 5 total murders spanning from 2019 to 2020, Judge Addison agreed with the state and sentenced him to 102 years. And then after that, he ended up getting a total of. She said Dotson wreaked havoc on this community for long enough. The judge said he's been wreaking havoc in jail. In the 20 years of practice, I have never seen anything this thorough detail describing his criminal sadistic behaviors. You have exhibited not only in jail but towards staff when shanks and ice picks and sexually inexcusable behaviors, assaulting behaviors constant. Wow. So he was going towards staff with shanks and ice picks at doing sexually inexcusable behaviors. That's just crazy. Addison called this one of the saddest situations she's seen in her career. Dotson has other assault murder charges pending in our courts. He was immediately turned over to Tennessee Department of Corrections to begin his sentence. It don't matter, he's dying there anyway, so he don't need a death penalty. He's gonna I wonder if he has. Does he have family?
It doesn't really say a lot about him. I'm still trying to see if they did any interviews with the survivor. It's not giving me anything.
It doesn't say anything about family being in there or anything.
They probably don't want to be named.
Yeah, it said, a lot of people are saying he deserves a death penalty. I agree with that. Like, I don't know why that wasn't even on the table. That's just. But it doesn't say anything about him having any family or anything like that. So I'm assuming maybe they just didn't want nothing to do with him.
That's how I'm looking at it. They probably don't want their name involved with them. I can't find anything about the survivor, though.
He probably changed his name. Probably afraid that dude's gonna come after him or find somebody. Oh. Let's see here. Here we go here.
So my question is, in jail they take care of their own. What do you think happens to him when they find out they killed an infant?
True. He was added to the Tennessee's most wanted list, and a reward of up to $13,000 is being offered for his information leading to his arrest. Man,
I wonder if his own family turned him in.
I don't know, but that's... And he's not even that old. I don't know what made him think to do that. Like, were you really that angry over a Facebook post? I wonder if we called this if they would answer. But
Cool.
did you find the guy?
It's not saying. How was he actually captured, though? Did someone turn him in?
You know what? He was captured. How was... Okay.
He was captured in the Nashville area by TBI, the U.S. Marshal Middle Tennessee Joint. Okay, so the marshals caught him. I was trying to find it, and it finally popped up.
He don't have a lot. It's like you have to go to several places. Like the information we got.
It's very vague on
Yeah,
there.
we've
I
been-
think the family probably had something to do with.
On Facebook Live of Dotson was taken on June 16th, just 4 days after his girlfriend, 19-year-old Jamisha Kovison, was killed in the video. Dotson said he was going to turn himself in. But he was caught 6 days later. So he wasn't going to turn himself in because apparently he was caught.
But there's years in between there, so it kind of makes you wonder if she did know about it, and maybe she mentioned something that made him mad. Because what else would make him mad enough to kill his?
Well, he says here.
Maybe he said he was gonna. Maybe she was gonna post something about him murdering people on Facebook.
In the fact post he just shared minutes before his arrest, Memphis say before the shooting, Kovison got into an argument with Dotson over Facebook posts and her pregnancy. After she closed the door on him, police say that he fired shots into the home, forced his way in and continued arguing with her, and then he left, only to return hours later to kill her. In recent Facebook Live, Dotson says he didn't do it even though police say several witnesses saw him at the scene. So she would have survived if he wouldn't have came back, and that's probably why he probably was like threatening her on Facebook, I'm going to come back and kill you, I'm going to come back and kill you. And that's probably when he shot her through the door. Wow, forced his way in. Well, I'm assuming that's probably what had happened. Was he probably came back? I don't know if they were arguing again or what, but I don't know. It's not saying what was initially said about it. Like what got him so riled up. But still, nothing should be like that bad. He said, them folks just lying on me because they said because say what they want. I ain't do shit.
Says he allegedly killed his young lover because she knew about his previous murders.
Mimi, I just got caught up in life. In that life, I was telling Mimi what I'm doing, Dotson said. Dotson's criminal history paints a very dark picture. He's also accused of murdering Reginald Anderson in May. Court documents say Dotson approached Anderson and another person at Jesse Turner Park with a gun. Anderson tried to run away, but police say Dotson continued shooting until Anderson fell dead to the ground. So these must have just been like random people that he was whatever. I'm assuming because it just doesn't say like it's not saying like how he knew these people. He shot him dead in the ground. That just totally sucks. Police say the murder comes after Anderson allegedly got into an argument with Dotson's family member earlier that day. He's also accused of killing 18-year-old Devion Parker and Elvis Presley Boulevard back in November. So apparently he's just having run-ins with these people. Maybe. Because the guy got into an argument with his family, so then he shot him dead. Jeez, oh man, he's like a hitman or something, or not even a hitman. He's like, you mess with my family, that's it. He don't play. Okay, so that's what happened. That guy, I had an argument with his family, and then that set him off. Now we're getting somewhere. That's just. Some give the some do give the option of firing squad, and yes, they can choose. What if you are painting a gun at a criminal to stop, pointing a gun at a criminal to stop him, but the gun goes off accidentally? Is that murder? At a criminal stop. Pointing a gun at a criminal to stop him, but the gun goes off. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't honestly know that.
What is it?
Jay Hatter, what if you are pointing a gun at a criminal to stop him, but the gun goes off accidentally? Is that murder, first degree? If it's not intentional, and it depends on the, like, if he did a criminal thing, like he was robbing a bank, or if he was, I wouldn't say robbing a bank, if he was maybe attempting to do something to you.
Well, the guy that shot the kids that were trying to get through his front door, and he shot them through his screen because they didn't cross the threshold, he got in a lot of trouble. So whether it's an accident or you really shoot him, unless you have a witness saying it was an accident and went off and they feel bad for him, you're going to get in trouble.
Okay, wait a second, where'd it go?
You can't find anything about the guy that lived through.
That is a good question, though.
Right here.
It would not okay. In Ohio, you're not automatically in trouble if you shoot someone while responsibly believing it is necessary to prevent an imminent death or serious harm during a break-in, but the term accidentally can complicate the legal defense. To the force of in self-defense is a serious legal event that will be investigated. You may be questioning potential charges. Now, Ohio does have a self-defense law. They have it, isn't it like stand your ground law?
Mm-hmm.
There's no duty to retreat in your home. Ohio law explicitly states you have no duty to retreat if you are in your residence and lawfully have the right to be there. Reasonable belief is key. The core of a self-defense claim is whether you had a reasonable belief that the force was necessary to prevent immediate serious injury to your death to yourself or your family. Yeah. Accidental. If you claim the shooting was justifiable act of self-defense, you are stating intentionally used force to protect yourself. If you claim it was an accidental shooting, it could be interpreted as a carelessness or negligence, potentially leading to criminal charges like manslaughter or improper handling of a firearm, regardless of the intruder's actions. It's hard to say. This says here it would likely not be first-degree murder, as the charge requires premeditation and intent to kill. An accidental shooting while pointing a gun at a criminal more likely lead to charges such as involuntary manslaughter, negligent homicide, or other weapons offenses, depending on the exact circumstance and the state of Ohio laws.
Just exercise your right to be silent.
Yeah. That is a good question, though. I mean, that. I hope that answers your question. That's honestly the best I can really come up with on that, because I guess they're trying to say if it's, like a lack of premeditation or intent. But if you're just, you're saying if a gun at a criminal to stop him and it goes off fast, yeah, that's.
Says whether a person was cleaning their gun, dropping the gun, claiming the gun malfunctioned, or just went off. If someone gets hit in the bullet, criminal charges are likely to follow.
Well, they're also putting specifics too, such as was the criminal an immediate credible threat of death or serious bodily harm? Were you legally allowed to possess the firearm? Was the accidental discharge caused by reckless handling of the weapon? Stuff like that they would probably ask you. By all means, we are not lawyers, I can tell you that.
That's why they hand out the lawyer cards at the CCW classes. Yeah. They tell you to get special insurance for having it.
Yeah, you can get like a special insurance and you can call a lawyer. I forgot what that's called.
I don't know. I have the card at home.
But you can pay for that.
Yeah, it's expensive. But it immediately calls your lawyer. USCCA membership.
Yeah, there's a thing called American Bar Association. It's ABA. It has free legal answers. The website allows you to submit civil legal questions to volunteer lawyers for a free answer. And the number is 1-800-THE-LAW-2. And that's for free legal advice if something like that did happen. That offers free legal advice and consultations for personal injury cases, including car accidents, worker compensation. They're open 24/7. They also have one called 1-800-ATTORNEY, and they have 1-800-HURT-NOW.
Yeah, but if you get in the membership and you pay the yearly fee, or if you have to break it down, pay monthly, as soon as the accident happens, they arrest you until they do, their statements and everything.
Yeah.
And it automatically, you hand them the card, and they get a hold of everyone, and you shut your mouth, and everyone else does the work for you.
Yep.
So it's kind of good to have.
I honestly can't remember how that went, but like you said, you can. I'm not for sure what that was called, but you could probably call.
It's actual self-defense insurance.
What is it called? Self-defense insurance?
But not all states have it.
Okay, here it is right here. It's called firearms. I'm sorry. Self-defense legal protection. Most states starting at $9.95 a month. Delta Defense.
But you gotta remember,
Planes.
it's like life insurance. You
Yeah.
get what you pay into it, so that $9.95 a month isn't nothing.
Well, that's called firearms legal protection, and that's self-defense legal protection. Most states start at $9.95. There's one called Delta Defense, and that self-defense plans is $39 a month. And self-defense insurance in 50 state protection network with training and legal defense. So there are self-defense insurances you can get. So that would be something to look into, especially if you do own a firearm, you know, and stuff like that does happen. We had a case up here in Ohio one time where a resident was delivering, a pizza guy was delivering pizza on a side street, and these people, he was going up this little side street, and these people up the road where he was going was having a birthday party, and they were in the backyard, and he was going up the street, and they thought, they assumed he was going too fast, so one of the people ran up there and, you know, was telling him to slow down, and the guy's like, you know, telling him about, you know, he had a gun and everything, to leave him be, because he was trying to, you know, say all this stuff to him, and then he left, and I guess the guy's son came up there, and then he said something to him, and the guy, and you know, the father had told him that he had a gun, and he still went up there, and the guy felt threatened, and he shot him, and he ended up killing him. They honestly, after they went to court and stuff, they let the guy go, and the father got charged. I can't remember what he got charged for, but he got charged for something, but the guy, they said it was in self-defense.
What year was that?
I'm looking that up now. I remember that. That wasn't that long ago. Okay, it was in 2023. A man was fatally shot by a Pizza Hut delivery driver during a road rage confrontation. An Ashtabula grand jury later determined the shooter acted in self-defense and faced no charges. And here's the reason. The shooting occurred on July 9th, 2023 at the intersection of East Tidbits and Sherman Streets after a traffic dispute between a Pizza Hut delivery driver and another man identified as 30-year-old Matthew Lambert. It escalated. The self-defense ruling, after reviewing evidence, including witness statements and video footage, an Ashtabula County grand jury decided that not to indict the delivery driver, concluding that the shooting was justifiable act of self-defense. The victim and family, Matthew Lambert, was a father of 3, and his family expressed that he was wrongfully killed. Well, honestly, he shouldn't. You just don't know if somebody's got a gun like that. Like, maybe he was speeding. I don't know. Maybe he was. Maybe you assumed he was speeding. But I mean, if anything, call the police and tell them, get a license plate number, because you just don't know. What if you go up to somebody doing that and they're having a really bad day? Related action. Douglas Taz Lambert, Matthew's father, was indicted the same grand jury on an aggravated menacing charge related to the confrontation and is scheduled for a separate trial on that misdemeanor charge. So, because his dad, went there first up to that guy, and then his son went afterwards, and the son got shot. I think that was, yeah. The police department handled the investigations, encouraged the public to report any information on the incident. But yeah, that was in self-defense. That was just a couple years ago. I remember that though. Wonder if he ever went back to Pizza Hut again.
No, but how many do you think he should get the firing squad, seeing how
Tennessee
shot that
doesn't have the
baby?
firing squad though. I think it only
ship them somewhere else then?
I think they have lethal injection. I'm not for sure what state has the firing squad. Let me look.
Cuba uses the firing squad still.
Utah, Oklahoma. Krista Pike. I don't think I think hers is the electric chair or lethal injection. I don't think that they have firing squad where she's at.
Says the United States primary uses lethal injection.
Yeah.
The only one that came up with a firing squad was Cuba.
Mine says Utah and Oklahoma.
What's the date on that, though? Because according to this, in 2021, the United States stopped using it.
Okay. Idaho makes firing squad the primary method of execution. These are 5 states that allow the firing squad: Idaho, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Utah. While in the other 4, Idaho makes it their primary method. While on the other 4, it is a secondary option. If lethal injection is unavailable, or in Utah's case, for those sentenced before a certain date. South Carolina allows inmates to choose between lethal injection, the electric chair, or firing squad. Now, Mississippi and Oklahoma, that's a secondary method, and Utah allows the firing squad as a secondary method, and lethal injection is unavailable as an option for those sentenced before May 3rd, 2004. Wow. Can you imagine getting the electric chair?
No thanks.
I don't even know if I would even, oh my gosh. I couldn't even imagine being on death row and then them telling you the exact time and the date that you're going to die. And then you get up there and they strap you down, put a microphone up to you, and you say your last words. Can you imagine just picking your last meal? Like, I don't even know if I would even want to eat anything. I don't know. It just makes you wonder what's going through their head as they're walking into that room where they're about to be executed.
So we gotta get a hold of this guy and ask him why he thinks he's Michael Myers.
Yes, that is a good thing we are going to do too, is get a hold of him.
So is he just happens to be watching Halloween and decides to kill somebody, and that's why it refers to him as that? Because Michael Myers uses a knife, not a gun. But there's other people that used him for an excuse for killing people too. idea what that word is?
This one?
Yeah.
Texas.
Texas.
That's a 7. That's pretty much it for that. But you're going to Texas 7 right here. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, but I wanted to do this.
Okay.
Because it's coming up. We can do this one after.
Okay. We're going to.
Here's a calendar. Today's a
Wrong one. Where am I at?
should be what, the 7th?
It would be no, it wouldn't be the 7th. It would be. It would be the 14th, because then after that would be the 28th, but we won't do it the 28th because we're going to the game, so we would do it the 27th. So we're gonna do the next time called Christmas Murders. Referred to several notorious real-life crimes, including the 1929 Lawson family murders and the 1985 Goldmark family massacre. Or to the fictional works like true crime books and TV shows such as The Christmas Killings and The Christmas Murders. The other examples of the crimes that occurred around Christmas include the 2008 Covina massacre and the 2017 murder of actress Trisha McCauley. So we'll get into that.
I didn't bring my phone down.
On the 14th. Of December.
Wow, can you believe it's December already?
Yeah. Now, after the 14th, we will do it again on the 27th, because the 28th we are going to the Browns and Steelers game, so we won't be here. So we'll have to do it on the 27th, but that's a few weeks away before we even get to that.
And that'll be the Texas 7.
That'll be the Texas 7 too, yeah. And that's the guy from Texas 7 got one of them got executed. Texas 7. And we'll do that the December 27th. Saturday, 6:30. I hope you guys all have a good night. And thanks you guys for asking questions. Because that was actually a good question there. But hopefully we answered your question on that. Remember, we're on Facebook and we're also on YouTube too. We are on Facebook, Pure Evil Inside the Mind of Serial Killers, and it's also under KEA and Lasner. You'll see where it says Serial Killers on there. It's our main page until you get to that one. But Pure Evil Inside the Mind of Serial Killers, and then we also are on YouTube. And when you get on YouTube, it'll say, did you mean this one? But no, you go to the one with the Z's at the end, and then you'll see us on there. So you'll be able to see us. And we are, of course, we're also on Podbean. We do announce if on our Facebook pages, if there's going to be a change in the time or the date or anything, because sometimes things do come up. This is just something we do, you know, for fun. This is like a little hobby of ours. We do have like actual jobs and stuff we actually have to be to.
And snow to plow and games to go to.
Yeah, we have quite the busy life. So that's why we can only do this so many times a month. Which we plan on doing it a little bit more. We're working on some other stuff too, which will, once it gets closer to that time, we will announce that, and hopefully you guys will come visit when it's all said and done. And check it out, but we'll get into more detail about that as the time comes for that. But we'll see you guys on the 14th about the Christmas murders at 6:30.